The breadth is looking better. It is not phenomenally better, the breadth is looking better. Is there a bout of short covering? I think banks becomes the go-to space for me because they've fallen less. That's where the accumulation of pain is there, and that's where the underperformance is, and that's where I think the numbers are there. So large banks becomes the first port of call. ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, I will not be surprised that if we see a bout of either short covering or perhaps some pull back there. AI has got nothing to do with India, DeepSeek or whatever disruptive forces we are talking about it. It was outright silly that tech stocks fell in India because they are AI implementers, not AI enablers. So tech stocks are bouncing back. It's turning out to be a good day of bounce. Is the bounce now coming back in the mid and the small cap stocks? Let's address some newsmakers here, and the one I can see would be NBFC space, and especially the wholesale NBFC companies. What are wholesale NBFC companies? Which essentially are lending a lot by borrowing from the wholesale market. So that would include a Bajaj Finance, that would include a Mahindra Finance, that would include Aditya Birla Finance, that would include to some extent even L&T. The big banks, the big NBFCs which are borrowing from the wholesale market, if liquidity is eased, could they start bouncing back? Let's turn it please. L&T Finance up 1%, Piramal, this entire cohort of NBFCs wholesale dominated could see some action, and that there you see Piramal Enterprises should be up actually, very deeply wholesale NBFC. It should be up. Without looking, there you go. Very easy to understand. Mahindra Finance should be up. Let's look at it. Kya hua? Okay, I think it should be up whenever the price comes in. There,
Yeah,
wholesale
M&M
index,
Financials higher by nearly 4% as we speak right now. The pure play banks is by looking pretty okay in trade, although the numbers weren't all that impressive from some of those players like a Union Bank or a Federal Bank. But let's see what that entire pack is up to. The Nifty holding up a good 1% as we speak right now. Union Bank has jumped up 5.25%. Federal Bank not quite, 3.5% lower for that stock still. Keynes, Petronet LNG, RailTel, these were all disappointing set of numbers. So let's revisit those names. Look at the damage on some of those over-owned stocks. I mean, Keynes has fallen nearly 10%. It's a gap up slide that you're seeing in the beginning of trade itself, and maybe it could get worsened, who knows. RailTel also disappointing numbers there, so is the case with Maharashtra Seamless as well. By the way, good numbers for Tata Steel. The consolidated adjusted EBITDA has come in line. The European business losses have narrowed. The fillip, of course, came in from the domestic business, nearly 1.5% higher for Tata Steel as we speak right now. For Coal India as well, they managed to beat expectations, better realizations, improved operating leverage. Coal India, though, still sulking in trade, 1.25% lower. For Tata Power, the arm has bagged the contract worth about 455 crore rupees for solar modules. Look out for what that stock does. And I want to check in on what 361 is up to. The Q3 revenue growth was driven by the ARRs. They've bought B&K Securities for 1,884 crore rupees. Stock still gapping down about almost 7% as we speak right now. Other than that, what are IT names up to? Are they seeing any follow-through sell-off from the crash that you had in Nasdaq overnight? Not quite. Nifty IT is pretty stable, about 0.6%. HCL Technologies, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, TCS holding up in the green. Infosys 1.25% higher as we speak right now. Wipro is the only quiet one in trade. Kunal, not bad, but can this bounce actually last?
That's very difficult to anticipate as of now, but yeah, I think that's the big question, whether the bounce will last or not. I think at the other technical level we are looking out for is the break and the close about 23,000 mark. If that also happens for the index, that could also be a good confirmation that at least we are in for some bit of a stable recovery for the indices. In terms of opening trade, I will stick to the financials and the banking names. Kotak Bank is something which looks attractive, especially at a point where the stock is at 1880 to 1900 kind of a zone.
All right, so positive start for the Indian markets, but still almost 80 points away from hitting that 23,000 mark as well. But with this, let's move on and let's start taking the first trade ideas from both of our experts. And Naresh, if you can start first, help us with your stock ideas.
So, country like Indigo would be looking out for a dip closer to 4,200, 4,220 for a buy.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.